Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're going to explore what happens when AI escapes the lab and starts living on your computer with the keys to your entire digital life. And this isn't some future scenario, it's happening right now. We're going to dissect the rise of autonomous AI agents, a quiet revolution that is already reshaping our world. Our guide for this deep dive is the foundational article, AI Without a Leash, written by security analyst Tim Dasey and published on February 4th, 2026. Dasey's work really provides an essential framework for understanding this profound and, frankly, accelerating shift in artificial intelligence. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the viral phenomenon of an agent called OpenClaw. Then we'll examine the profound digital access these tools demand. After that, we'll define what truly separates an agent from a simple chatbot before digging into the three dangerous lines Dasey argues they are now crossing. And finally, we'll look at the vast, unsupervised experiment that has already begun. Okay, let's begin our analysis with the catalyst for this whole conversation, a project called OpenClaw. In just 2 months, this open source project absolutely exploded, hitting 100,000 stars on GitHub. Now that's a rate of adoption that is so fast, it has completely outrun any real attempt at security oversight or structured governance. To really understand why this is such a big deal, we need to distinguish OpenClaw from the AI most of us are using day to day. You see, we're familiar with agents that live inside walled gardens. Think of it like a company's app store, where that company controls what the AI can and can't do. Well, OpenClaw is the exact opposite. It's open source, you install it on your own machine, and you are the one who decides how much power to give it, far beyond any corporate safety net. And this brings us right to the crucial trade-off at the heart of these new systems. The incredible power of an agent like OpenClaw is directly tied to the incredible amount of personal access we grant it. And the level of access it requires is, well, it's staggering. We're not just talking about access to a single app here. We're talking about the keys to your entire digital kingdom, your full file system, the power to run any command, the ability to read your private messages and send them as you, and complete access to your logged-in bank and email accounts. You are essentially creating a digital twin, but one with a mind of its own. Which leads us to the central question that Dasey's article really forces us to confront. Why would any rational person hand over this level of control? Well, the easy answer is just efficiency, automating annoying tasks. But Dasey argues this is pretty superficial. The much stronger, more compelling reason is the quest for contextual judgment. This is an AI that doesn't just follow a script. It can watch a project evolve over weeks, it can understand nuance, and it can handle unexpected problems. That's something rigid automation could never do. But to truly appreciate this power, we need to look under the hood a bit and understand what technologically separates a true agent from the chatbots that we've all been using. They are fundamentally different kinds of systems. You see, a chatbot responds to a prompt. An agent, on the other hand, takes a high-level goal, like plan my business trip to Tokyo, and it creates its own checklist. It figures out it needs to research flights, compare hotels, check your calendar, and then book the ticket. It sets its own tasks to achieve your objective. This autonomy is built on these 5 pillars. Dasey's analogy for this is perfect. An agent is less like a tool and more like a small company. Planning is the CEO, setting strategy. Execution is the operations team, doing the work. Monitoring is quality control. And adaptation is like the R&D team, finding new ways to solve problems. All of it guided by a persistent memory. Now, this capability brings us to the intellectual core of Dasey's analysis. He argues that with these new powers, agents like OpenClaw are now stepping over 3 distinct and, frankly, perilous lines. Think of these thresholds as an escalating staircase of risk. We're moving from AI that merely suggests things to AI that actually does things. From an AI that works for you alone to an AI that negotiates with other AIs, and from the safety of a controlled environment to the chaos of the open internet. So the first threshold, from output to action. A chatbot might draft a sensitive legal response for you to review and approve. An agent, if you give it the authority, just sends it, finalizing the agreement. That critical human checkpoint, that air gap between an AI's decision and a real-world, often irreversible consequence, is simply gone. The second threshold, from alone to social. At this stage, your agent isn't just working for you in isolation. It's interacting with countless other agents to book that trip. It's negotiating prices with an airline's agent. It's scheduling with a hotel's agent. It's a complex digital marketplace, almost like a stock exchange, with AIs making deals in milliseconds. And then we have the final, most critical threshold, leaving the walled garden for the Wild West. Once it's on the open internet, the agent is exposed to everything that we are: misinformation, phishing scams, and adversarial data that is specifically designed to trick and manipulate it into taking actions its owner never intended. And this really illustrates what the security researcher Simon Willison calls the lethal trifecta. It's a perfect storm of risk that Dasey points out OpenClaw possesses. Access to your private data is the fuel. Exposure to the untrusted internet is the spark. And the ability to take external action is the explosion. And this isn't just academic speculation. Palo Alto Networks, a global leader in cybersecurity, has issued a very blunt warning. They've stated that the emergence of OpenClaw may signal the next AI security crisis. So what happens when this kind of unchecked experimentation is unleashed? Well, the consequences are no longer theoretical. Dasey points to the emergence of something called Maltbook, which is a social network built not for people, but entirely for AIs. The scale here is difficult to comprehend. In its very first week of existence, 770,000 autonomous agents joined this network. To put that into perspective, that's like the entire population of Seattle showing up online, forming a new society, and starting to interact with each other, all in just 7 days, with humans mostly just watching from the sidelines. This leaves us with the profound and, I think, deeply unsettling question at the end of Dasey's analysis. When these agents build their own economies and their own cultures online, who, if anyone, is actually in control? The uncomfortable truth might be that for the first time, we just don't have an answer. Thank you for watching. The challenge is clearly no longer about what AI can do, but what we will allow it to do. This is AI for Career Success by Curt Robbins, where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. Liking, commenting, and sharing helps us reach a wider audience. And if you'd like to support our work, please feel free to use the QR code on the screen to buy us a coffee.